What do you get when you combine thin air, a racetrack that is 2,200 meters above sea level, struggling engines, turn 1 being an absolute nightmare, even for actually experienced drivers, for example, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Lando, the guy who won the race today. First off, what do you get? You get the Mexican GP 2025. Oh, right, almost forgot. Also, a bit of street circuit parts in a very nightmarish track. Great job to Lando, doing a 1 minute 15.586, securing pole, even though I'm not really a Lando fan still. It's fine. Turn 1 Mexico is like rolling dice off a volcano. Guess what? The dice, in this case, is basically your championship. You can burn to pieces if you mess up turn 1, or if you just save turn 1 somehow. For example, what Max did turn 1, or get a perfect roll off turn 1 like everyone else but Max and a few other people. Well, he did keep it through turn 1 somehow, literally so close to the barriers, and then he rejoined the track. He gave back the position, that's why he didn't get a penalty. If he didn't give back the position, he would have got a penalty, 1, and 2 would have to still give back the position because of the penalty. Guess what happened? Max somehow went from 8th, that's his lowest point, to I know, 3 people went into the pit stops at the exact same time, but let's get to the real drama. For example, Max. Here's what fans don't realize. At 2,200 meters above sea level, engines are losing power. Teams are struggling. Brakes are overheating because of the lack of air. Hamilton's aggressive move off track earned him a 10-second penalty. Not really good for Hamilton, but super good for the guys that were within 10 seconds. Let's talk about Oliver Behrman now. Great job to him getting his highest ever career position so far. What Ollie did, pretty good. 35 points to Piastri for Max, 36 to Lando. 36 points to Lando. Shifted his championship lead, but meanwhile Max is still running ahead. He's like going a million miles per hour. Let's get on to Oliver Behrman. So launched off the line, got through, and when Verstappen and Hamilton were fighting, like, Hamilton literally left no space for Verstappen. This is Hamilton, by the way. Also tried to get it within the act, but Oliver Behrman getting up to 3rd place, his highest ever position in Formula 1. But not highest ever to finish, though. Because, well, he hasn't gotten to 3rd place yet. With pit stop shenanigans, a good strategy for Ollie, he manages to keep himself ahead of Piastri in the final closing stages. Oliver Behrman, the driver that replaced Carlos Sainz, who was out in this race, in Saudi Arabia last year, got himself his first top 5 finish ever. This rookie is actually pretty good, but not really as good as Antonelli, because his highest finish was 3rd. Antonelli. Yeah, he lost the relay championship. Literally the only thing that could have saved him was Ollie crashing, but he's a clean guy. Not someone who does. Piastri finishing 5th place, only 3 places recovered, but that was actually good for Piastri. Because he's only 1 point away, instead of like more than 1 point, finishing back in 6th place, starting 8th, getting a good pit stop in that 3-way Hamilton, Russell, Piastri pit stop. Piastri had the best pit stop out of all of them. There, Piastri got ahead to 5th position. That was crucial for Piastri. That was really good for Piastri. Imagine if it was actually a dead heat. Imagine if actually both of them finished with the same amount of points. Imagine if it was actually a 3-way top, because then it would have to be determined by the race before who got the better position. Max putting in a not really good probably 5th place for him, but his lowest position was 8th. And then he was flying on those softs, absolutely losing zero position, and then guess what? Proceeded to overtake Hamilton, Piastri, Russell. Yeah, I don't like VSC. I do like safety car, especially since of the you know what crane crash with Jules Bianchi that literally only 4 years later invented the halo. Verstappen could not overtake Leclerc, but it was actually a really good race for Max. And meanwhile, Lando was just ahead chilling, total clean air. Well, except for the lapped cars. What's next? Well, actually, you should ask who's next. Leclerc, yes, the person that qualified 2nd. Leclerc. Great driver from that. He put on a great race. 2nd place. Great job to him. Ferrari's Monica. the guy that has brought them the most upsides and downsides. But this race was really good for him. Leclerc hasn't finished in second place for a long time, since the Monaco Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix, which last year he won. So, starting second, finishing second, not really a really interesting race story, just his drive was actually good, almost as good as Max's. But hey, Ollie Behrman's drive was as good as Max's, putting a Haas, hear this word, Haas, Haas, a Haas, in the top 5, which has been barely scoring any points in the last races. Starting second, finishing second, Max literally almost overtaking both Hamilton and Leclerc at the start, but then Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, qualified 3rd in a Ferrari. Not really surprising, but finishing in a not really great position. 8th place. Not really good for Hamilton. But it was a good race, even though it went from 3rd to 8th. But that was only because of pit stop and him somehow being dumb enough to force Max off the track, and then locking up on a turn, and then boing, 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 boing. Yes, he did give the position back to Max, but he didn't use the escape rope. The Ferrari Tifosi they were going wild when they saw Leclerc finish second, but but they were still going a bit wild for Hamilton, a 7-time world champion. He had to take a 10-second penalty in the pits. So, yeah. Now let's talk about Sainz and his 10-second penalty. Well, actually, it wasn't a 10-second penalty. Let's talk about Sainz now. Not his entire race story, just his drive-through penalty. In the live stream, you could literally see the Ferrari pit box waving. Okay, not the pit box. Sorry, the pit wall waving at him. I don't think he noticed it, though. So that's the most drama stuff that happened in this race. Almost all of them. Anyways, I'm about to hit the 0 zone. Like and subscribe, please.